Hello, my name is Oscar Barrios. I study at Pan American University of Puerto in the Faculty of Education and Humanities, School of Modern Languages. In today's video, I'm going to give you a brief explanation about how to structure or how to properly structure questions with using verb to be, specifically WH questions, meaning questions with the words who, when, what, where, and how, for example. But first, let's make sure we understand the correct structure for statements. Yes, for statements. So, when we are structuring a statement, the correct structure is subject and then the verb or the auxiliary verb. For example, I, subject, am, verb to be, a student. I am a student. Okay, so that is the correct structure for statements. Now that we have a basic understanding of this, we are going to go over the structure or the proper structure for questions that use the WH words and the verb to be. So in this case, the order of the elements of the structure is reversed. First, we are going to place the question, the WH question that we are going to use, the WH word that we are going to use, then the verb to be or the auxiliary verb, then the subject. As you can see now, the subject is placed later in the structure instead of the beginning of the structure. So we have the WH word, the auxiliary verb second, and third, the subject. These kind of questions can have another verb or not, and any other words or complements. So let's go through a few examples to make this clearer. So let's begin with the WH word. For example, who. Who. If we choose this word, then the verb to be that we need to use naturally is are. And the subject would be you. Who are you? This is a WH question properly structured using WH word and verb to be. Who are you? For example. Or let's look at another example. Let's say why, WH word, are, again, verb to be, why are, then we need to name the subject, you, why are you here? Why are you here? As you can see, we follow the same structure, but sometimes the WH part of the WH questions can have more than one word. For example, how old or what time. So in these cases, the structure remains exactly the same. We begin with the WH words, which would be, for example, how old. How old, then we use the verb to be. In this case, we need to use is. How old is, and then the subject, your brother, for example. How old is your brother? There you go, and as you can see, that's another example of a WH question, properly structured. Let's say one more example with the word what. WH word, what. If we use what, the verb to be necessarily has to be are, in this case, because the subject will be you once more. So what are you? Same structure, WH word, auxiliary verb, and subject. What are you? And then the complement, doing. What are you doing? If we were to choose another subject, something in third person, for example, then the structure, we will use the same structure, but the verb to be form would have to change naturally. So, what is he doing? What is he doing? So, as you can see, the structure applies. We only need to take into consideration that we need to place the correct form of the verb to be depending on the subject. And we must remember that the subject comes after the verb to be. And after that, we have the other words that may serve as a complement to the question if necessary. Let's look at one final example with the word how. For example, how are you doing? How are you doing? And there we have, again, every part of the structure in the order that we have established up until this point. How are you doing? How, WH word, are, verb to be, you, subject, and doing. How are you doing? That's all for today, and I will see you on the next video.